Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be talking about Holy Priest, one of the most overlooked specs in Wrath the Lich King. Now, before we get into that, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel and followed my Twitch in the description below. But with that, let's get right into the Holy Priest. And I mentioned overlooked, that's what I'm going to be talking about, not from the perspective of the power level of the class, but in terms of how fun they are. So I'm not going to be arguing that they're underrated, but more that they're going to be underplayed for how fun they are to play, for how cool they are. And so, as a healing spec, they're super fun. They have so many cool, powerful, fun abilities. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. So I guess the first thing to talk about when it comes to Holy Priest is going to be, like I mentioned, a lot of these powerful abilities. Now, kind of your staple ability is going to be Circle of Healing. In Wrath of Lich King, it goes across the entire raid. Um, and of course, the targets still have to be in range, but it's no longer group restricted, which is really nice. It does have a cooldown now, which I think is actually makes the gameplay more enjoyable. You're going to know a lot of holy priests are going to miss spamming Circle of Healing because it's super powerful, being able to circle, 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 circle with a lot of haste. However, um, I think in terms of a rotation, in terms of the gameplay being engaging, you're going to find that it actually makes it more fun to play when there's a cooldown on Circle Heal, because then you go to use your other heals, use more of your kit that way. So Circle of Healing is still great. You don't spam it now. It 6-second cooldown. You can glyph it to hit an extra target. It goes from 5 to 6 with the glyph. Very, very fun ability, very strong ability. Another really fun ability is Prayer of Mending. I think this is one of the most fun abilities in the game. You throw it on a target, and when they take damage, it heals them and bounces to another target. Uh, Now, sometimes you're going to throw this out and it's going to bounce like crazy on its own and do insane amounts of healing. If you refresh this on an AoE fight, it's just going to bounce like crazy and lead to a ton of healing. Very, very fun ability. And again, party or raid member, so it's just going to keep jumping around the raid. And as that person takes damage, it'll jump again. Really super fun ability to play with. Um, you've got Prayer of Healing. Now, of course, some of these abilities Disc has as well, but the abilities I'm showing you are either going to be stronger for Holy than Disc due to talents, or there's specific interactions with Holy in their kit that we'll get to. But of course, uh, you know, a Disc Priest can use Prayer of Mending, but it's not going to be as powerful as a Holy Priest's, but they can't use Circle. This is another ability that Disc can use, but gets better if you play Holy. This is Prayer of Healing. It only hits party, so this one is not going to heal just the 5 people randomly in your raid. You actually have to click the party, which again leads to some decision making. But there's also a fun glyph for it that causes the heal to add a healing over time. And just trust me when I say Prayer of Healing is so satisfying to cast. It hits so hard. It is insane how strong this heal is when you put it on a party that is taking a lot of damage. Really, really strong in 5 mans and dungeons as well. So even I would say this is not one of the most unique or uh, you know inventive abilities, but it's just super satisfying to press. There's also Renew, of course, big part of your play as a priest. And even just with the abilities I've already shown you, you can already kind of think of how the different ways you can play the spec. It's not necessarily a spec that's going to play itself. You could be rolling Renews across the raid. You can be reactively circle healing, you proactively throwing out Prayer of Mendings. You are can go for spamming a bunch of raid heals with your prayer healing. So many different ways to play it. Of course, you've got your basic heals as well with your flash heal, your greater heal, of course. Um, Pretty simple there. But kind of not a rotational ability, but I think, personally, one of my favorite abilities in the entire game. Up next, Guardian Spirit. And this is the end of the talent tree for Holy. It is an insane ability. It is so much fun to press. Essentially, what this does is you place it on your tank or someone you think is going to die. It doesn't have to be the tank. And they're going to get 40% increased healing from all sources. And this includes their own healing and other healers. And if they were to die, it's going to uh, heal them to half their health and give them like a cheat death, take them to half health. Now, why is this so insane? This isn't going to seem that insane until you actually play with it, but it's super fun. It's super insane. It causes your Death Knights to heal themselves more. It causes your, your, if they even use like a healing potion or something, any sort of self healing, it causes other party members to heal them. So your other healers, even little things like they're going to gain more healing from Blessing of Light or Seal of Light. I think it's Judgment of Light, actually. Yeah, Judgment of Light, that one. They're going to gain more healing from effects like that. It's crazy how much healing you forget about that this amplifies. And you're just going to notice, like, wait, I didn't even heal him. I put Guardian Spirit on him. I didn't even heal him yet. And he got topped off the full because of some sort of healing effect that gives him a burst of healing. Now, with this comes with a glyph that is insanely fun. The Glyph of Guardian Spirit. This is going to say that if your Guardian Spirit lasts its entire duration without being triggered, the cooldown is reset to 1 minute. So essentially what that means is you put this cheat death on a target and one of two things happen. If the cheat death procs, it'll save their life and you're super satisfied because you just saved their life, right? You put a cheat death on somebody, it triggered. If you didn't do that, they would have died. The other thing that can happen is they don't die. Well, in the case of the glyph, you still could have gotten value from the increased healing. It still could have saved them because they're taking more healing from sources. But in the case of the glyph, it comes down to a 1 minute cooldown. And with that, you can just throw it out like all the time. Whenever you see someone dipping low in a dungeon, whenever you're worried, you just throw it out. And you're either going to save lives or you're going to get it back in a minute. Super, super fun ability. One thing I'll mention, the only pain point I'd say with this ability is that the Protection Paladin cheat death triggers before this. And so what that means is if you put this on your Protection Paladin and he were to die, it would trigger their talent before it triggers Guardian Spirit. And so all that really means is if you remember that your Paladin has a cheat death, you'd wait until their cheat death procs to use this, or you can, always still use it for the 40% healing. On the flip side, if you're using that glyph, right? If you use Guardian Spirit on a prop Paladin before their cheat death has triggered, that also means that there's a very high chance that you are going to be, getting your Guardian Spirit back. So super fun ability. There's also some more class abilities that are really fun. Ability like Hymn of Hope is a nice way to give your party some mana back, which is kind of neat. But again, a Disc Priest can do this too. Divine Hymn is super cool. And when we go through some of the talents later, it actually is way better than you think. So it's like a Tranquility, except it hits the whole raid. Tranquility hits the party. So it's like Tranquility, but it hits the whole raid. It's 40-yard range, which gets even longer with Holy Priest talents. So it's like a super long range Tranquility that heals. It's targeting the lowest health members instead of hitting everyone at the same time, but it's raid wide. So you press this in a really bad situation, and it's just going to keep ticking and healing the most, in danger players. So really, really fun ability, really nice ability. Goes around line of sight and stuff. Super cool. You've also got Shadowfiend. Now, I'm going to show you some other talents too that affect it, but when you play Holy Priest, even in bad gear, it feels like you have infinite mana. The Shadowfiend is super, super strong. It gives so much mana. It's insane how much mana this gives back. You feel like you can cast all these powerful abilities without worrying about it too much. So really, really strong stuff there. Now, you've also got, I guess it's time to look at some of the talents. Some of the talents that I think are really insane. Inspiration. I don't know if a lot of people know about this. A lot of people from Classic probably know about this heal, or this thing. Reduces the target's physical damage taken by 10% after getting a critical effect from a bunch of different heals. Now, in Classic, this just gave flat armor. This just gives physical damage reduction, which is really nice. But I don't know if a lot of people know that it triggers off your Prayer of Healing, Prayer of Mending, Circle Healing. It's triggering off like everything. So you're going to give 10% physical damage reduction to a ton of people. And this is the kind of thing that you're not going to notice as much, um, but is behind the scenes going to be really powerful. Now, a fun talent, Surge of Light, I think makes the spec really fun to play. It makes it feel really mobile. Your spell crits have a 50% chance to cause your next smite or flash heal to be instant cast, cost no mana, but being capable of a crit. So essentially, the big thing to remember here is you have a lot of heals that are hitting a lot of people. This can proc off Circle. This can proc off Prayer of Healing. There's a talent that we're about to get to. Let me show that one. There's a talent called Empowered Renew, which causes your Renew to instantly heal. You don't have to wait for the tick, it heals right as you press it. Critting that initial Renew heal can even proc uh, the talent Surge of Light. So Surge of Light is a super fun talent. Gives you some instant flash heals that cost no mana. You can always use it on Smite too if you want. But yeah, another thing that adds some variety to the rotation. And it feels like you can cast a lot of instant spells, which I really think is fun. Between Prayer, between Circle, between Renew, you can even shield people, and then those instant cast flash heals. Now, you have also got some other talents to think about. You got this talent called Serendipity. Whenever you cast a flash heal or a binding heal, the cast time of your next greater or prayer is reduced. Now, the big thing here is you're going to be getting those instant flash heals from what I just showed, Surge of Light. You're going to be stacking up these procs, and then you get 3 stacks, and that's going to cause your cast time of your Prayer of Healing, which is kind of a slow heal that hits really hard, to be faster, which is really nice. Again, another thing to maybe think about as you're playing is kind of maintaining those stacks. In a dungeon, you don't have to worry about it too much, to be honest with you. Another really nice talent is going to be Holy Concentration. Your mana regeneration from Spirit is increased by 50% after you critically heal with Flash Heal, Greater Heal, Binding Heal, or Empowered Renew. And so if you're rolling a bunch of Renews out, that initial hit can crit. Not sure about the ticks, if that could trigger it, but probably. But man, this is has some synergy with the meditation talent as well, which really helps your mana pool. Really fun all around. Now, last talent I'll say, or I guess last two, Body and Soul. This talent is insane, and this reminds me of it reminds me of the Life Grip, I believe it's called, in Cataclysm, where priests cast this on a player and pull them to safety. And it's one of the most fun abilities that in all of WoW. Now, this is obviously not as good, but because when you cast Power Word Shield, it gives such a fast movement speed increase. 60% is a lot. You're zooming with this on. Not only does it make just like everyday playing the class, running around, moving around, just more fun. But if you see in advance that someone is in the wrong place, they're in the, I mean, it happens all the time. You can tell that someone is not standing where they should be. They're slow to move. I mean, you can make some big plays. In Naxxramas alone, right? I'm thinking of on Thaddeus, you see somebody standing in the wrong place. You give them a shield, speed them up, and they move so fast that they get to the right side of the positive negative stack, and they don't wipe the raid, right? Maybe on a fight like Hegan, you see somebody that is slow to move for this safety dance, and they are not going to make it in time. Pop this on them. I mean, super fun ability, and just really powerful. And that's the thing. As we go through, it's just so many fun abilities, so many fun talents, and you're just playing it, and it's just so much fun to play. It's so satisfying to play. So, I mean, it doesn't get old. Pressing Circle of Healing when 3, 4, even 5 people are missing health. It's so satisfying to hit them all. Prayer of Healing is nuts. If you're ever in any fight where everybody is dying, everybody's taking damage, it's just there's so much to heal. It feels like there's so much you can do. A lot of decisions to make, a lot of different ways you can play the spec. On any given fight, you could just, roll Renew, put some Renew on the tank, cast a bunch of greater heals on them. You could just be focused purely on raid healing and only casting Prayer of Healing, Circle, maybe rolling some Renews, Prayer of Mending. Even abilities like Binding Heal are really fun to use, where it heals yourself and the target. but not always, it's hard to find the right spot to use it, but can be super powerful. And like I mentioned, Guardian Spirit, so sick. It's just such a fun class. And I really have a ton of fun playing it. Even though I wouldn't say that I am someone that typically is, a big healer player. Really, really fun class. And I would recommend, give it a try if you're a healer or if it sounds interesting to you. Really, really fun. And even though a lot of people don't consider it to be one of the best healers in Wrath, definitely strong enough. It's not a weak healer. It's not something that is going to be you know, really, really bad or hold down a raid or anything. It's just right on the edge of viability where a lot of times it's not the first choice for people to bring to a raid. So let me know. What do you guys think about the Holy Priest? I think it's super fun. Did I miss any interactions or any other stuff that makes it fun? Let me know. I didn't really talk about mind control, mass dispel, fear ward. Oh, there's so many little things you can do. Um, but really, really fun healer. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time.